Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Flower Power Live. My name's Allison, and your hostess for the night. I'm an herbalist, an educator, and ecologist, and I love sharing plant knowledge and wisdom with you. So thanks for joining me. Now, this week we're still in Mercury retrograde, and I'll tell you, I have just been feeling in this holding pattern. I work at a school, and like the end of the year is just kind of everybody just waiting to try to make it through to the end. So it's been a lot of pressure. And when the pressure is on, we need something that can keep us strong and tall and keep our boundaries strong. That's one of our themes for tonight. And our plant of the night is yarrow. And I have some beautiful yarrow here that is growing. I'm very fortunate, growing in my yard. So I just want to share a little bit about yarrow, our message for tonight. So yarrow is Achillea millefolium, and it's named after Achilles, the Greek warrior. And we all know the tale about how Achilles was dipped in the river Styx to give him invulnerability, except for that one place on his heel where he was held while he was dipped. And so what this means is we can be strong and tall and think we are, but sometimes we can have some vulnerable spots. And this is where yarrow can come to help. Now, yarrow is it's just a wild plant, and it grows all around where I live. I believe it also grows in Europe. And the name millefolium comes from the flowers here. Well, actually, first I'm going to show you. See how, I don't know if you can tell in here, but this tall, straight stem, this is how it grows. It's all on the side of the roads right now, and it's standing tall and firm, and it's sticking. It's almost like you would be sticking out your chest and standing strong. And so this is another one of these plant signatures that tells us that yarrow is a strengthening for us, and its flowers it's called millefolium because it just has, thousands of flowers all grouped together here in the, probably doesn't do good to put it against my white shirt now, does it? In the inflorescence, and it's just a tall, straight stem, and it only branches when the flowers are starting to come out. And the flowers will stay in a garden for 3 weeks. They'll look really good. And yarrow has been cultivated into different colors. There's different pinks and yellows primarily, but this is the wild version that's usually used for plant medicine. It likes full sun. It's a great plant to have in your garden, whatever color you decide to use. Now, when you're getting ready to harvest it for plant medicine, you're going to take the whole flowering top. You can see how I got the leaves and the flowers. I'm going to use all of that together. Sometimes we just collect the flowers, but in the case of yarrow, you can use the leaves and the flowers together. So yarrow is used when you need a warrior plant to come in and kick some butt. Okay, I put yarrow in all of my sort of acute cold blends. It just comes in and it just helps like kind of get things moving. And one of the things it does is it's really, really good at balancing your blood, more like your blood flow rather than your blood cleansing. And so it can help for wounds. And this is kind of where the story comes, where this plant was put on the leaves. You can strip the leaves off on the heel of Achilles to try to stop the bleeding. And then it also works when you have a bruise with some sort of stagnant blood that doesn't want to move. And for many years, I've used this as teas, and I've also used it at making a tincture. And then I think it was just last year, I learned from someone that they make a salve out of it, and that would be the perfect thing to put on a bruised area, just to sort of rub on your skin if you had a bruise that just didn't seem to be healing very well. So I made a little bit of yarrow infused oil last year, and I haven't had a chance to use it. Luckily, I haven't had too many bruises. But just this week, my son has a lot of allergies, this time of year, even though I give him the golden rod to take every day. Does he take it? Sometimes. But he was it's just sneezing and blowing his nose, and he ended up with a bloody nose. And I thought, Yarrow, this is the perfect thing to help stop that bleeding and just in sort of a natural way, bring it back to its natural balance. Now, there's a lots of other ways that we could talk about Yarrow, but this is going to be kind of a short show tonight because I'm just been so busy with the end of school. However, I do really, really want to talk to you a bit about the flower essence. Now, flower, not only the white flower, but the other colors of Yarrow are also made into different flower essences. And there's a Yarrow Synergy blend, excuse me, which is 5 different colors of Yarrow all blended together and to make a very strong protection blend in. Excuse me. And that is what Yarrow is really about. It's about helping to protect us, helping us to have better boundaries. Now, what it does is that it's helps to kind of seal you off in a way and keep your energy from sort of bleeding out, if you will, into the rest of the environment around you. It helps you to sort of preserve your strength, both your physical and your emotional strength. Now, according to Flower Essence Services, the person who needs Yarrow is easily affected by their surroundings, and they may be prone to different kinds of environmental allergies or illnesses, and they can easily be depleted and vulnerable to other sort of like thoughts and negative energies and sort of emotional insults and things like that. So this essence, actually what it does, it helps sort of tone and firm up your aura, your energy field around you. Even though you might feel strong, everybody's got little like holes and weak spots in this field, and it really helps to create almost like like one of those superhero type of force field kind of shields around you, if you can kind of picture it like that. And so this just kind of helps to keep you create those boundaries so that you can also have your emotional boundaries. And one thing that was really interesting when I was reading in the book was in the Flower Essence Services book here, was that the positive qualities are people who are compassionate and inclusive, that once you start to feel that way more, you have to be a little bit more sensitive to others in order to feel more compassionate towards them. And so there's this sort of balance, and you have to create that boundary to protect yourself. This happens a lot with people who are like energy workers and body workers and stuff. They have to be really careful not to take on other people's negative energy. So there are, like I said, there are other blends, including another blend called Yarrow Environmental Solution. Yes. And this is a spray that you might take if you to protect yourself from air quality, any kind of environmental toxins that might be coming up, that you might be getting exposed to. So I had decided to do Yarrow this week because it's blooming along the side of the road. It's also one of my kind of like top 10 plants essentials for the herbalist toolkit. It really is one of those basic, really important plants that covers a lot of areas that, especially with the blood support. And so I went ahead and pulled the Soulflower Essence card from Lisa Estabrook, and she has this beautiful card here. And I love her artwork, as you all know, because I tell you that every time I use these. And on the card, it says that the word is boundaries. Like a little umbrella or shield, Yarrow offers protection from negative energies or toxic influences. She helps you to be, now she says she, but to me, Yarrow is he. He helps you to build strong, healthy boundaries and compassionate awareness of self and others, and to avoid unnecessary energy leaks and general depletion as you evolve and grow. Now she's a flower essence practitioner, so her cards really are flower essence oriented, sort of like the stories about cards. So I'll hold this up for a little bit more. Let me see here. Right, you know, and I got this other deck of cards. It's not a flower deck. It's a really cool deck by this person, Matt Kahn, and it's called Keepers of the Light. And it's kind of like a messages from angels and historical not historical, but goddesses like Bridget or ascended masters and all different kinds of people. And so I decided to draw a card from there as well. And the card that I drew, and it's called Call to Action. Take charge, lead by example, and walk your talk. And this has this drawings on here. I don't know a lot about this deity on here, but I just kind of pulled that on the side. Call to action. Like, this plant is going to call you to action. Look at that stature of this particular plant. So, you know, you got to have boundaries. You got to take charge. And so really what we're talking about here is between this kind of like butt kicking boundaries, Yarrow is giving us a bit of a message about a little bit of a different message than I often share with you. You know, a lot of times it's like, oh, pep talk, you know, be nice to yourself and just watch your thoughts and things like that. But at least that's what I often hear. So, however, in this case, Yarrow is letting us know that, you know, we are responsible for making sure that we are strong and protected. And the repertory points out, that's so interesting, that as we progress along our spiritual path, which I personally believe is why we're here, we need to become more sensitive, like I was saying earlier. You know, we need to be more sensitive to the world and people and develop our compassion and things like that. And in the past, our spiritual guides and gurus, that humans, that they would be allowed to sort of go and live a more of a cloister type of life, like our nuns or like Buddhist monks and so on. And they would live a life where their focus and their intention was to just focus on their spiritual growth. But most of us don't get to do that. We're all living a regular life with our family and our job and all the other demands of running our household. And so that makes it even more important that we stay protected. We have to face all of these realities every day. So I know for myself, I find it hard to carve out spiritual time or just even like personal growth time that I want to spend. There's always other people demanding my time and energy. So I think when we talk about boundaries, so often we think, oh, my emotional boundaries and don't, you know, hurt me and things like that. But really has a lot to do with our time and our presence and those boundaries as well. And how much are we giving? How much time are we giving to ourselves? I guess this is kind of my same message, like take care of yourself so that you can keep yourself healthy and energized. You cannot allow yourself to be depleted. Nobody is a good family member, parent, co-worker if you allow your energy to be drained from you. So set your boundaries on your emotions, your time, your presence, and Yarrow can help you with all of that. So that is our message from Yarrow today. Ooh, I just love Yarrow. Again, top 10. So thank you so much for joining me. I've been talking about my challenge and I've come to the realization it was supposed to start next week. I'm just getting out of school. It's not going to start. I'm going to push it forward to the week of July. Well, kind of right, July 12th. July 12th. So we're going to push it more into like high summer. It's going to be about like reconnecting with our senses, coming back to our senses. And so what better time than summer to really just kind of soak in all of the goodness that's around us. So thanks again for joining me, and I will see you next week. Have a good week, everybody. Bye-bye.